analysis of single stage steam turbine. Analysis of single stage steam turbine. Okay. Now, if you look at it, single stage means actually I do have a rotor and the stator. That's it. So I'll be have a rotor and a stator. So to begin with, actually, so let's start with only impulse machine. Okay. So it's an impulse turbine. So impulse turbine. So when I speak of impulse turbine, the degree of reaction is 0. And here, if I go for an axial one, actually, if I go for an axial one, your U1 is equal to U2 or U1 is equal to U2 if I consider the axial flow machine. And then in case of an the impulse machine, I am taking an example of D-level turbine. Okay, D-level turbine. So what it is actually, if I go with a D-level turbine, here the relative velocities are same because my blade angles are the same. It's only for the case of D-level kind of it, because which is extensively used in most of your impulse steam turbines. So the condition is the VR1 is equal to VR2 because my blade angles are same. This is only for D-level type of impulse machine. Now let us try to draw the velocity triangle, combined velocity triangle for this kind of a impulse machine. So I'll go with the combined velocity triangle with U. Okay. So this is my U. Okay. Then I'll be having your V1. This is my absolute velocity at the inlet. This is my V1. Then I have my VR1. Okay, this is my VR1. Okay. Similarly, at the exit, okay, at the exit, I'll be having my VR2. So this will be my VR2, and then I'll be having my V2 at the exit velocity triangle. Okay, this is my V2. So I can complete it by drawing the corresponding angles and the the components of your V1. Okay, the components of your V1. So here beta 1 is equal to beta 2. That's one particular thing. So this is my VF1 and this will be my VW1. This is my VW2. Okay, and this is my VF2. So let's mark the angles alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 2 and beta 1. So I have put all the components of your velocity triangles here. Now, so let's try to analyze this particular thing. So this is for a single stage. If I go for a multiple stage, actually I have to draw two velocity triangles. Okay. Now, here one particular thing, if you have to be very careful here, you have to be very careful here. So when I'm trying to solve the expressions for it, so you have two options. One, either I can go with the graphical method, or the second one is I can get the velocity components using graphical method or use your trigonometric principles. All the values are found by two methods. One is the graphical method. The graphical method is one thing, and the second thing is using your trigonometric principles. Okay, trigonometric principles I am going to use either sine, cos, tan or cot. I'll use and I'll try to do this. Now when I'm consider this first thing, let's try to obtain the expression for vane or blade efficiency. Okay, expression for blade or vane efficiency. Blade or vane efficiency, okay, for this particular impulse machine. for this kind of impulse machine. So now, if you look at it, this is actually, this being an impulse machine, so most of the things I will be getting in terms of the kinetic energy. So you always remember that impulse machines, all the things are with respect to your kinetic energy, that is V1, V2, VR, whatever it may be. What is blade efficiency? Let's try to define it. Already we have defined it. Blade efficiency is the ratio of work done to the available kinetic energy. See, which already we have defined it. So the blade efficiency, okay, is nothing but your work done to the kinetic energy. So what is the alternate form of your kinetic energy? The alternate work done, already we know the expression. We'll use alternate this thing. That is V1 square minus V2 square by 2 plus, okay, U1 square, sorry, U1 square minus U2 square by 2 plus VR2 square minus VR1 square by 2. Okay. Now, for a D level turbine, already you know that U1 is equal to U2 and VR1 is equal to VR2. This is only for a the given case. That is a D level turbine. So in that case, what will happen? Both these quantities, they get cancelled. Okay. What is there in the denominator? Denominator is the kinetic energy. Okay. Denominator is the kinetic energy. That is half V1 square, half rho V1 square. So it's only velocity, it's only V1 square. V1 square by 2, that is. So in the denominator, I have V1 square by 2. This is the blade efficiency. What I have, this is the expression for blade efficiency to begin with. Now if I rewrite it, your blade efficiency is equal to V1 square minus V2 square divided by your V1 square. If I 2 goes to the, so 2 just they cancel out. So it's only V1 square. So let me call this as, or the same thing I can write it as 1 minus V2 square by V1 square. Let me call this as equation number 1. Okay. Now let us go to this exit velocity triangle. From the exit velocity triangle, okay, your V2 square is equal to this one. V2 square is equal to VW2 square plus VF2 square. Okay, from the exit velocity triangle, from the exit velocity triangle, from the exit velocity triangle, that is from the exit velocity triangle or from the velocity triangle at 2, I can write, this is using your Pythagoras theorem. So V2 square is equal to VF2 square plus VF2 square. Why it is actually because this angle is 90 degree, because this is a right angle triangle. Okay, if you want, I can name it actually. I can name it if I call this as A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so okay, fine. So I'm looking at this particular triangle. Looking at this particular triangle, that is a triangle BFD. From the triangle BFD, I can write V2 square is equal to VF2 square plus VW2 square. Now what I'm going to do actually, substitute for this V2 square in 1. If I call this as equation number 2, okay, substitute for V2 square, that is substitute equation 2 in equation 1 to get what it is actually. Therefore, your blade efficiency is equal to 1 minus, I can write VF2 square plus VW2 square divided by V1 square. Okay. And one more thing is here. For no friction condition, okay, let me call this as this for, let me write that, for no friction condition, or no friction condition means if the frictional flow, that is VR1 is equal to VR2, we are consider that. No friction condition means VR1 is equal to VR2. So this is what we have taken. Then your Vf1 is equal to Vf2, which may be equal to some Vf. Okay, Vf2 is equal to Vf1. I can write it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write this actually. I'm going to replace this. I can write this equation as 1 minus Vf2 square by V1 square plus, okay, this is Vw2 square by V1 square. So what I'm going to write, your Vf2 square is equal to Vf1, okay, or it's equal to Vf. So blade efficiency is equal to 1 minus, I will simply write Vf square by V1 square plus Vw2 square by V1 square. Okay, now let's go to your inlet velocity triangle. What is sine alpha? If I consider sine alpha, this will be actually, it is V sine alpha is equal to Vf divided by V1. Okay, sine alpha 1 is equal to opposite side V1 by your hypotenuse. Okay, I can write from the inlet velocity triangle, from the inlet velocity triangle, sine alpha 1 is equal to Vf1 by V1, or Vf1 or Vf2 both are same. I can write it as V1, or I can write Vf is equal to V1 sine alpha 1. Okay, so now I'm going to substitute this over here. Okay, I'm going to substitute this over here. So therefore your blade efficiency is equal to 1 minus Vf. I can write it as V1 square, that is Vf square is V1 square into sine square alpha divided by V1 square plus Vw2 square by V1 square. Okay, if you want we can, so then I can simplify this further. So V1 just they cancel out. So your blade efficiency is equal to 1 minus, if I open the bracket, this will be sine square alpha. So minus into plus, it is minus Vw2 square by V1 square. Okay, so this is your, so maybe what is your say what is your, we know from the trigonometry. Okay, so from trigonometry we know that sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, or 1 minus sine square theta, or I can write cos square theta is equal to 1 minus sine square theta. This is from your trigonometry. So what I'm going to do actually, 1 minus sine square theta, what it is actually, I can write it as cos square alpha 1. I can write it as, so the blade efficiency is equal to cos square alpha 1 minus Vw2 square by V1 square. So let me call this as equation number 3. This is the expression for your blade efficiency. Okay, the expression for blade efficiency. Now, let's try to look at, see, anyway, we got the blade efficiency. This is the general expression. How I can maximize this particular thing? Okay, how can I maximize this particular thing? So to understand this, so the condition for maximum blade efficiency, okay, the condition for maximum blade efficiency. To understand this, what I'm going to do, I will try to take up only the outlet velocity triangle. Outlet velocity triangle. Under what conditions, see, on what condition this, see, what's happening, this Vw2 square by V1 square is, so the Vw2 should become 0. When Vw2 becomes 0, see, your blade efficiency will be maximum. That's the condition. But to, I can't, see, I know it actually, but I can explain it using the velocity triangles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take only the exit velocity triangle. Okay, so the condition for, you got, this is the expression for a blade efficiency. To obtain the condition for, to obtain the condition for to obtain the condition for maximum blade efficiency. Maximum blade efficiency. When it is, we'll try to understand using a velocity triangle. I'm going to take only the exit velocity triangle. So if I take only the exit velocity triangle, it will be like this. Okay, then I have my VR going like this. Okay, then so this is my so this is my U and this is my V2. Okay, then I have my sorry VR2, that is this is my V2. Let me write that. This is my V2, VR2. This is my U, and I'm going to complete the triangle by drawing the components of your V2. Okay, this is my VF2 and this is my VW2. I got this. Now look at this actually. So now when this, see, when my VW2 will become 0. Okay, now look at the velocity triangle. From the velocity triangle, push it to the left hand side so I can write to the right hand side. So from the velocity triangle, at exit, look at this, what will happen? See, the right hand term, this term is what is actually I have to minus blade efficiency cos square alpha 1 minus of that. If VW2 is equal to 0, that means what will happen? If this becomes perpendicular, that is when VW2 is pushed in such a way that when V2 is or alpha 2, what I call, so this is my alpha 2. So this is my alpha 2, this is my beta 2. Under what condition? See, from the velocity triangle I did, if VW2 is equal to 0, then alpha 2 should be 90 degrees. Are you getting? I have to push this so that this becomes exactly perpendicular. Then what will happen under that condition? Your V2 will be equal to VF2. I have only one component. When VW2 is equal to 0, your VA2 will be equal to VF2 and alpha 2 is equal to 90. Okay. So what will happen? So therefore, your equation 3. Okay. Therefore, equation 3 can be written as, therefore, for the maximum condition, that is blade efficiency, when VW2 is equal to 0, the blade efficiency maximum will be equal to, it is only cos square alpha 1. Let me call that as equation 4. So for maximum efficiency, it's only cos square alpha 1. For any other condition other than 90, it can be any of the acute angle from 0 to 90, whatever it may be, I'll be using the expression 3. Is that clear? So this is the expression for your blade efficiency, or maybe our general expression on the maximum blade efficiency expressions. Now second one. So we looked at the blade efficiency. Now let us look at the expression for the work done. Okay, expression for the work done. Any doubts? Expression for the
No, sir.
work done. So if you have studied the steam turbines in your turbo machines course, they should have given a glimpse of it. Okay. Now, from the Euler's energy equation. Okay, so from the Euler's energy equation, let's go back to your velocity triangle. Okay, let's go back to velocity triangle. So here, so your VW1 is in this direction. Okay, your U is in this direction and VW is in opposite direction. So I should use VW1 minus of minus VW2 into U. Okay, yesterday I had explained is why this particular thing. If VW2 and the blade rotation, if they are in opposite direction, I should use the addition of all the tangential forces, vectors. Okay, let's go back. From the Euler energy equation, okay, we have that. Okay, from the Euler's energy equation, from the Euler's energy equation, we have work done is given by W is equal to VW1 minus VW2 into U. Okay, because U is in opposite direction, U is in, or VW2 is in opposite direction to U, VW2 is in opposite direction to U, so it is actually minus VW2. So therefore, your W will be VW1 minus of minus VW2, okay, into U. So your work done will become VW1 plus VW2 into U. Anyhow, mass is 1 kg. Let's go with 1 kg only. Whenever you want, multiply by mass flow rate, actually you will get your power. Don't worry about that. Let me call that as equation number 1. Now let's come back to your inlet velocity triangle. Okay. Come back to this inlet velocity triangle. Consider the triangle AEC. Okay, consider the triangle AEC. Cos beta 1 is equal to, okay, cos beta 1 is equal to, so suppose, let me call this as some x. Okay, what is x actually? X is equal to VW1 minus C. Here, x is equal to VW1 minus U. So if I cos beta 1 is equal to x divided by your VR1. Okay, I can write it because this is adjacent side by your hypotenuse. What is x? It is VW1 by U. Let me write that. From the inlet velocity triangle, 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 we have cos beta 1 is equal to x divided by VR1, or I can write cos beta 1 is equal to VW1 minus U divided by VR1, or I can write, so this is actually VW1. So just simplify this expression. So I can write, so a little bit cross multiplication. If I do, VW1 is equal to U plus VR1 into cos beta 1. VR1 into cos beta 1. Let me call that as equation 2. Okay. So similarly, so x I have defined. So I can define this as y. What is y? See, y is equal to VW2 plus U. Okay, because I'm going to take the next exit velocity triangle cos beta 1 because I want the angles in terms of betas. Okay, so what I'm going to do, cos beta 2, if I consider that particular cos beta 2 will be equal to y divided by your, so your adjacent divided by, y divided by your VR2. Okay, what is y? Y is equal to VW2 plus U. So from the exit velocity triangle. Whatever we done for the inlet velocity triangle, I'm going to do it for the exit velocity triangle. From the exit velocity triangle, from the exit velocity triangle, what I have? Cos beta 2 is equal to y divided by VR2. What is y? Y is equal to VW2 plus U. Cos beta 2 is equal to VW2 plus U divided by VR2, or I can write for VW2. So VW2 is equal to, it will be VR2 into cos beta 2 minus U. So let me call this as expression number 3. So substitute for VW1 and VW2 in equation 1. Okay. Substitute for VW1 and VW2 in equation 1. So therefore, your work done is equal to, what is VW1? VW1 is equal to U plus VR1 into cos beta 1 plus, okay, your VW2 is equal to VR2 cos beta 2 minus U, okay. This is what I have multiplied by U. Okay. Therefore, W is equal to, so just let me open this bracket, U plus VR1 into cos beta 1 plus VR2 into cos beta 2 minus U to U. So what will happen? This U's will just simply cancel. Plus U minus U just simply cancel out. I am left with W is equal to, okay, VR1 cos beta 1, okay, plus VR2 cos beta 2 into U. If I want, I can take VR1 cos beta 1 outside. Okay, VR1 cos beta 1, I can take it outside. Okay, let me take that. W is equal to U, it's outside, U into VR1 into cos beta 1, if I take it outside, this will become 1 plus VR2 into cos beta 2 divided by VR1 into cos beta 1. So let me call this as equation number 4. This is the generalized expression. This is a generalized expression actually. Now if you closely observe here, I have two quantities here. One quantity is, okay, one quantity is VR2 by VR1, which is the friction factor. Okay, let me take it as K or C or whatever it may be. And other one is the ratio of the angles, cos angles, cosine angles, whatever it may be. Let me take it as. So cos, so I'm trying to get a generalized expression. So once you get this generalized expression, then I can get the expression for whatever the condition I want. Okay, let me call it as some K or CB, whatever it may be. CB is equal to, or KB is equal to, this is mainly because of the friction, VR2 by VR1, okay, and some K is equal to ratio of cos beta 2 by cos beta 1. I'm going to take these two ratios. So what will happen? Then the equation 4, what will happen to your equation 4? I can write it as U into VR1 into cos beta 1, 1 plus CB into K. So this is, I'm just writing the ratios in this particular thing. Okay. Now, what is cos beta 1? Already we have known that cos beta 1 is equal to VW1 minus U by, if you go back and see, what is cos beta 1? VW1 minus U divided by VR1. Okay. Now, VR1 into cos beta, if I do a test bit of cos beta, VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to VW1 minus U. Okay, I am going to substitute for your VR1 cos beta 1. So from this expression, okay, from equation 2, I will substitute for this. I'll substitute for this. Okay, what it is? From equation 2, VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to, okay, VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. This is what I got it. Cos beta 1 is equal to VW1 minus this from that expression, VW1 minus U. So what is VW1? Is V1 cos alpha. So if you want, we can write that. So let me write that to the right hand side so it will be easy for you to. This is because, okay, we have cos beta 1 is equal to VW1 minus U divided by VR1. Okay, but cos alpha 1 is equal to your VW1, sorry, cos alpha 1 is equal to VW1 by V1, or I can write VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1. So therefore, your cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 minus U divided by VR1. Okay, or I can write VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to, this is what I'm going to, just little bit of cross multiplication. Little bit of cross multiplication I'm doing. VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. This is whatever I written on the right hand side, that expression I'm trying to use it here. So if I try to use it over here, VR1 to cos beta 1 is V1 cos alpha 1, your work done W is equal to U into, this is actually V1 cos alpha 1 minus U into 1 plus CB into K. So let me call this as equation 6. If you closely observe here, CB is a constant. Okay, CB is a constant, K is a constant, and alpha also is an angle, is a constant. So from the equation 6, your work is proportional to your U. Your W is directly proportional to your U. So this is what we are going to get. Your work is directly proportional to, if I'm able to differentiate this expression with respect to U and et equated to 0 and substitute for whatever expression I'm going to get for U in the W equation, I'll be getting the maximum work done. Okay, the condition for maximum work done. Okay, so equation 6 is the generalized work done expression. Whatever you got, 6 is the generalized work done expression. So to maximize the work done, okay, let me write that. To maximize the work done. Okay, what we are going to do, we are going to differentiate this dW with respect to du and equated to 0. Okay, what we are going to do, that is d by du of this work done expression, that is u into v1 cos alpha 1 minus u, okay, this into 1 plus cb into k is equal to 0. Then automatically that cb will go off, 1 plus cb will just simply, those are constants. I am left with only d by du of, if I open the bracket, this will be u square into v1 cos alpha, so it's u, sorry, not u square, it is u into v1 cos alpha into u square, cos alpha 1 minus u square is equal to 0. This is the expression. Now I'm going to differentiate this. So what is the differentiation? So if I d by du, this will be only v1 cos alpha 1. Okay, this will be differentiation of that particular thing. It is only 2u is equal to 0. Or I can write This simply, if I do a little bit of cross multiplication, if I take it to the right hand side, 2u will be v1 cos alpha, or u is equal to v1 cos alpha 1 by 2. So this is the condition. This is the condition for maximum work done. When condition for maximum work done. When u is equal to v1 cos alpha 1 by 2, I'll be getting the maximum. So what I need to do actually, substitute this u, substitute the value of u in equation 6. Substitute the value of u in equation 6, what I'm going to get, that is the maximum work done. So substitute for u. Okay, substitute for u in equation 6. Okay, to get what I'm going to get actually. So w is equal to, wherever u is there, I'm going to substitute it. That is v1 cos alpha 1 by 2 into v1 cos alpha 1 by, okay, cos alpha 1. Okay, then minus u, that's once again v1 cos alpha by 2, minus v1 cos alpha 1 by 2, okay, into 1 plus cb into k. This is what I am going to do. Now we will try to open the bracket. So v1, so this will become v1 cos alpha square by 2. So w, this is for w max. So this is for w max. This will be v1 square cos square alpha 1 by 2 minus v1 square cos square alpha 1 by 2 into 2, it will be 4 into 1 plus cb into k. So half minus half quarter is once again 1 by 4. Your w max is equal to v1 square cos square alpha 1 by 4 into 1 plus cb into k. So let me call this as equation number 6. So if I call this as 7, I can call this as 8. Okay, this is the expression for maximum work done. Okay, this is the expression for the maximum work done. For generalized work done, maximum expression. So now for the D level condition. So for D level turbine, for whatever we are considered, for the D level turbine, VR1 is equal to VR2 and your beta 1 is equal to beta 2. What will happen for both the condition? Then your CB is equal to 1, your K, so VR1 or the 1 by 1, both are same. VR1 and VR2 both are same. Your cos beta 1, cos beta 2, so K and C both are same. So therefore, your W max is equal to V1 cos square alpha 1 by 4 into 1 plus 1 into 1. So that will become 2. So 2 just 2 and 4 just they cancel out. So I am going to get with only 1 by 2. So this will be V1 cos square alpha 1 by 2. Okay. This is for your D level condition or for an ideal condition. Now, suppose if I try to substitute for a this particular ideal condition, this particular work done in your blade efficiency, maximum work done. Okay, you have this maximum work done. What will happen to your maximum blade efficiency? It is something like you have your V1 cos square alpha 1 divided by V1 square by 2. So, just I'm writing that, I didn't do that actually, I should have done that. Your blade efficiency, we got maximum blade efficiency is cos square alpha 1. I could have got the same thing. So, same expression, just I will do that. So, this is an extra thing, like this also you can do. So your blade efficiency is actually maximum blade efficiency is equal to maximum work done by your V1 square by 2. Okay, I would have got the same expression. This is actually V1 square into cos square alpha 1 by 2 divided by V1 square by 2. What I'm going to get? I'm going to end with cos square alpha 1. So the same expression, whatever we got, no, that expression we can get it from there. So the blade maximum blade efficiency, equation number 4 can also be obtained from this condition. Okay. So we'll do one the stage efficiency. Okay, then we'll try to think it's 940. So because if I take up the area reaction turbine, so I won't be able to complete it. I will take up the stage efficiency. Stage efficiency. Stage efficiency. What it is actually. Stage efficiency means let's try to draw the HS diagram for it. So if I draw the HS diagram, let me draw the HS diagram for it. This is my enthalpy and entropy. HS diagram, and I will have the pressure lines. So two stages. Let me take two stages. They are all pressure lines going like this. And this is the one more pressure line. This is my P1, P2, and P3. So if it is a complete isentropic expansion, I'll be getting like this. Simple. It's a simple straight line from point 1 to point 2. Okay, this is my 1. If I call this as 2 dash or 2s, this is my 3 dash. So if it's an actual expansion, the actual expansion will be going like this. So this is how it is. The actual expansion will be, entropy will be increasing like this. So this is my point 2, this is my point 3. So here also, between stages also I can try to find out your isentropic work done. Okay. This is maybe if I call this as 3 double dash. So if I look at the stages, this is the first stage and this is my second stage. So what is a stage? Already we have defined. A stage is nothing but set of rotor and a a stator. Okay. So stage efficiency means it is the rotor efficiency and that is a stator efficiency multiplied by the rotor efficiency. Stator means actually it's a nozzle. Okay. The stator efficiency means it's a nozzle. What is the rotor? It is your blade or vane, whatever you want. So let's write what is it actually. Your stage efficiency is nothing but your stator efficiency is actually your kinetic energy divided by your enthalpy drop. Okay, enthalpy drop for stage or whatever it may be. Then what is for the blade? Actually, it is the work done by your kinetic energy. Or I can write for a stage efficiency, it will be work done by enthalpy drop per stage. Okay, enthalpy drop per stage is actually enthalpy drop of the steam between the pressures. What we need to do, stage means I need to, so if I look at the stage, I need to calculate the enthalpy drop for stator plus enthalpy drop for rotor. What it mean actually? It is the, so if you write it, this is the enthalpy drop between the pressures P1 and P2 plus P2 and P3. So I should able to get three values and able to calculate it. Is that clear? So this is your stage efficiency. Fine. So I think now it's 9:45. So we'll stop at this particular point. So any doubts? Anything? So most of the things I've written in detail. Any doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. We'll stop here. I'll try to. So how many are
Thank you,
there?
sir.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6 are there. But